Next item.
Sorry. Next item is item B3. This is to approve a concept of the offer for the use of 13.15 acre portion of the county-owned property in Progress Village for stormwater and floodplain management easement. And we have the power team here of Greg Horwedel, John Muller, and Josh Bellotti.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. For the record, my name is Greg Horwedel. I'm Deputy County Administrator, and we have our team available. We're talking this morning about a concept that's been presented to us to turn a piece of county property that's underutilized and leverage that into a number of community benefits. We would like the board's approval to move forward with negotiations to bring back something to the board that has much more specificity and detail in it, and frankly would be binding not just on the developer but also the county. With that very brief introduction, I'll turn it over to John Muller because he has a lot of detail that he will share about this project. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Muller, Director for Facilities Management and Real Estate Services. I have just a few slides to show you, Commissioner Hagan, I know, be brief, which are highlights of what was presented to you in the background of this agenda item. The subject site in question is located directly near Progress Village Park. If you could put up the first slide, please. Next slide. It's about 3/4 of a mile directly east from the intersection of 301 and I-75. The county's Progress Village Drainage Improvement Project is actually going on our 40 acres right now. That's a $16 million ARP funded project due to be completed next year. It's utilizing about 27 acres, leaving 13.15 acres available for additional or surplus stormwater and flood mitigation use. Now, MMI, the proposer, is the adjacent owner of approximately 40 acres. I'll note that in the immediate vicinity of this area, Progress Village Park, Larry Sanders Sports Complex, Simmons Bauer Park, Emmanuel P. Johnson Rec Center, Lamb Elementary, Progress Village Middle School, Progress Village Christian Academy. I note them because as collectively, the opportunity as presented by MMI includes creating a sense of place for Progress Village through connective trails and signage. Next slide, please. MMI presented an example taken from Lucy Dell Park of what the vision could be for their stormwater use. As you can see, there's some connective trails through it as well. They also noted in their proposal the potential to add 12 acres of land directly connected to our Progress Village Park, which is a potential expansion opportunity. Next slide, please. Lastly, I'll share some key points that we would consider in any notice offer. Our intent would be a property right in the form of an easement, and we must also ensure guarantees on performance of the improvements and future maintenance obligations. There are other aspects we're looking for, but I wanted to highlight those. Lastly, as Greg said, I'll note again, your consideration today is not for approval of MMI's offer. Today's request is to authorize us to advertise and notice a proposal with certain terms and conditions. We'll look at all the responses and we'll return any that we feel are appropriate with a final recommendation. And with that, I'll stop there. Myself, Greg, and Josh Bellotti on the stormwater side are here for any additional questions.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Myers?
Oh, I thought Josh was going to speak. You're not going to?
He
okay.
Can cover it.
Okay. Okay, good morning. What a team. I'd just like to share with us on August 13th, we had a meeting down in Progress Village and we met with the residents regarding this project MMI developed. I see Jake Kramer's here. He represented Stern Weaver. This was a win-win. The residents of Progress Village had submitted proposal, some of the things that they wanted the developer to do, and all was based on this being approved today to move forward to advertise and all. So therefore, I move for approval on this particular project.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Myers. Second, Commissioner Cohen. Commissioner Wostel.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Ms. Bradley, for coming and your dedication to your community. I I'm in no way going to support this item because I took a private meeting with this organization, believing that something that I had dealt with over a year ago that had disappeared was being worked on. Much to my dismay during that impromptu meeting when I didn't have a full understanding of what was going to be discussed, the meeting was essentially to this developer to demonstrate that rather than working with the community, they went and circumvented the original requests and leveraged the infamous and untested Live Local Act to entitle their property and undermine the board. This meeting was simply to say, nanny, nanny, boo-boo, we have this, and now we're going to come back and act like the community hero. For such an entity to be so flippant about an historic community that was literally created because this community was redlined out of being able to have mortgages to build their own homes, I am worried that any progress forward on this will also result in a flippant behavior when unexpected things which naturally occur in such large developments happen. A flippant position will be then again taken, and so I will not be supporting this item. Thank you.
Commissioner Myers.
I just want to follow up and say that the August 13th meeting of this year was our second meeting. We met 2 years ago prior to when the developer first came to us, and the residents were supportive as they are now about this project. As we all know, we've already approved the $10 million for the drainage in this area. This project, once it's advertised and we move forward, is for a walking trail and also will help with the flooding in this Progress Village. I know my district, and I'm asking the board members to join me. I'm always at community meetings in my district, particular Progress Village, to lead the way. With Jake Kramer and Stern Weaver, they could not move forward until we had the second meeting to make sure that the residents understood what was coming on this agenda item for clarity. And the community supports this project. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Kemp.
Yes, and I'll just want to thank the speaker who came to speak to the issue because we have been hearing, this is for decades anyway, about flooding in communities, and the flooding gets worse when development increases or densities increase. And of course, we've just experienced a terrible storm, hurricane with all kinds of impacts like that. So I know staff will be working. I know we have to really be thinking about this, but I appreciate that the community is getting engaged. I always honestly worry about the future impacts that are not necessarily predictable in terms of this, or that the engineering can't engineer away. They certainly can't engineer everything away, that I understand, but so I just am approach this cautiously, and I think it's good for the neighborhood to be involved, and I hope that this project will be one that in the future, when finished, will be a benefit that they will have less flooding or less water impacts than they have now.
Commissioner Cameron Cepeda.
Yes, so this was new information that I did not know about before that Commissioner Wastel mentioned. So if this did not go and continue in this direction, what would the plans be if we didn't continue with this?
So, Commissioner, to be perfectly frank, the developer does not need the county property to move forward on their project. They are offering an opportunity to have community amenities as a result of using county property. They have been entitled, as Commissioner Wastel indicated, through Live Local. That property was already zoned for multifamily, so they didn't need it for transitioning a commercial or industrial piece of property. They were looking to get take advantage of the grant funds that the state had available. However, those funds were relatively scarce, and my understanding is they were not successful in their application to get grant funds from the state. So they're looking for this as an opportunity to provide some amenities. Certainly, if the board feels that there's something that you want to see as a result of this negotiation, we're happy to include that in our conversation with them.
So this is something that you feel that the county really needs, would be definitely a benefit for the county and our community.
That is one of the things that we need to spend time with the developer discussing. We want to make sure this is ironclad as to the amenities that they are proposing. We want to assure not just you as the board, but also the community, to ensure that they are promising what they can actually deliver, and that we have an ironclad agreement to be able to make them deliver those community amenities.
So this is just to continue the discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
At this point?
At this point, yes. We are
Yes.
looking for the board's approval before we spend significant time going through a negotiation process and talking further with the neighborhood. The last thing I would ever want to do is raise the neighborhood's hopes about a project and then not have the board support it, and us have to go back to the neighborhood and say, we just didn't have the support for it. And that's why we're bringing it to you today.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Wilstel?
Mr. Horwedel, you said that to bring benefits to the community, but this is a significant benefit to the developer, is it not?
So I believe, yes, it is. I believe there are also benefits to the developer, and as any type of negotiation, ideally, both benefit relatively equally. So I can't speak to the specific benefit the developer believes they're going to receive, but we can ask them to quantify that and bring that back if they are the selected proposer.
Yeah, just because you better believe this is not out of the goodness of their hearts, particularly in the way that they approached this and reintroduced the item to me.
Okay. And again, as I see it, this is conceptual in nature. It allows staff to advertise, to do their due diligence, get more information on potential amenities. It doesn't lock us in. So I don't see any harm in taking the next step. And I'm not sitting here today, I'm not committing to this, but I do give a lot of deference to district commissioners on items that, you know, that they're involved in, or at least have a better understanding of the issue as a district commissioner. So we'll support moving forward, and then, you know, we'll see what comes back to us. So, okay, we got a motion. Commissioner Meyer, second. Commissioner Cohen, I believe. No other comments. Please record your vote.
Motion carried 5-2. Motion carried 6-1. Commissioner Wostel voted no.
Thank you for your consideration.
All right, thank you. Bonnie?
Thank you. I think we have time